And sa atin naman, yung probable cause for arrest within Philippine territory must still pass through Philippine constitutional processes. Ang aming palaging sinasabi sa aming reply, hindi pwede i-implementa yan without a valid Philippine court-issued warrant of arrest.
Attorney, nakapag-usap na ho ba kayo sa inyo pong kliyenteng si Senator Bato de la Rosa so far?
As of now, wala pa po. Until now, ever since nung nagkita kami mga 1:30 a.m. prior to his alleged exit from the Senate.
Opo, at balita namin kahapon ay nakapaghain kayo ng reply na doon sa Korte Suprema. Ano ho yung mga legal na basehan po ninyo hinggil nga po dito sa hiling na TRO para kay laban sa anumang ICC arrest warrant laban kay Senator Bato de la Rosa?
Well, essentially, ang sabi namin, nag-file kami mga 7:20 p.m. Ngayong araw pa sana yung deadline namin, pero we thought it best to file it today para mawala na yun sa isip namin at saka to also give time for the Supreme Court also to really study it, no? Kasi medyo mahaba yung aming originally 156 pages yun, pero somebody commented na medyo masyadong mataas. So we tried to trim it down to 117 pages. Ang aming sabi lamang doon, no, sana hindi tayo masubjudice kasi pending ito, pero essentially yung mga essential points lang so the public, I have to balance also the right of the public to know. Ang sabi namin doon is essentially ang executive department cannot merely say na kanya lamang na diskresyon yung pagpa-implementa ng warrant of arrest. Kasi hindi namin give up yung argument on jurisdiction, no? Kasi sabi namin, wala namang jurisdiction talaga ang ICC dito. Kasi nga, ang sabi natin, under Article 127, Paragraph 2, only matters under consideration before the ICC. Ang pwedeng ma-extend pa yung, meron silang residual jurisdiction, no? Kasi nag-withdraw tayo on March 17 of 2019. Pero yung residual obligations nila, dapat in-exert nila yon within a certain period, no? 1 year ang tingin namin na period. Seek ng authorization yung ICC prosecutor on May 24, 2021 at yung pre-trial chamber nag-authorize ng investigation only on September 15 of 2021. And then ang warrant of arrest na issue on November 6 of 2025. So many years, no, after we withdrew from March 17 of 2019. So ang tingin namin, wala talagang jurisdiction na ang ICC dito sa Pilipinas. Kaya Philippine courts. But even then, maski i-grant na lang natin na kasi may decision na yung appeals chamber sa ICC, granting for the sake of argument, no, without agreeing with them na merong jurisdiction pa. Jurisdiction is different from domestic enforceability. Yung pag-enforce ng warrant of arrest, hindi na yan exclusive domain ng executive department kasi meron ng right to liberty, right to life of a certain person. Yung if you already affect the person's right to liberty or to his right to life, by constitutional function, sa talaga yan, sa judiciary yan. So dapat may involvement na yung ating Bill of Rights. Kasi nga po, yung Bill of Rights natin was precisely enshrined in the 1987 Constitution to check on government excesses. After nung martial law, kailangan natin maglagay talaga ng Bill of Rights para ma-check natin yung dictatorship, executive dictatorship, Marcos dictatorship noon. Kaya nga ngayon, since the ICC warrant would touch on the person's liberty kay Senator De La Rosa, dapat ito idaan talaga sa korte natin. It does not, a foreign or international request cannot automatically override the Philippine Bill of Rights. And sa atin naman, yung probable cause for arrest within Philippine territory must still pass through Philippine constitutional processes. Ang aming palaging sinasabi sa aming reply, hindi pwede i-implementa yan without a valid Philippine court-issued warrant of arrest simply because of the fact dahil sa yung surrender or extradition na nakalagay sa Section 17. Sa extradition, meron tayong rules of procedure dyan, promulgated by the Supreme Court. Pero yung surrender aspect, wala tayong rules of procedure po dyan. Hindi natin kinopya lahat sa Rome Statute yung procedure dyan. Kasi nga po, na-trace namin doon sa interpellation when the law was framed or crafted by the Senate based on the deliberations by Senator Ligarda upon Senator Gordon, kasi Senator Gordon pa lang sponsor niya. Nakita talaga doon na yung surrender mechanism would need a law. It would need a specific separate law for it to be implemented in the Philippines. Wala tayo niyan eh. Kaya nga nag-propose kami sa aming petition, kung wala yan, why don't we apply the extradition rules, no? Ayaw din ng Solicitor General. Kaya yan ang amin. So kung ayaw niyo yung extradition na rules of procedure, wala tayong surrender procedural mechanism, so dapat hindi ninyo i-implementa yung warrant of arrest. Wala palang rules of procedure. Hindi po pwede executive determination lang yan. Hindi pwede executive discretion lang. That is the essence of our argument.
Ayaw ng OSG yung extradition rule, attorney, dahil matagal po yung proseso nun?
Yun siguro ang kanilang tingin. Kasi instead of discussing the reasons, they devoted around a lot of pages differentiating the concept of extradition from surrender. Alam naman namin na iba talaga yung surrender at saka extradition. There's no need to differentiate it to us. We know it. Kaya nga sabi namin, since we do not have a law implementing the surrender mechanism, we do not have the procedural mechanism as to how we can implement surrender, then we can apply by analogy lamang yung extradition. Ayaw nila kung ayaw ninyo, huwag nyo i-implementa yan. Paano mo i-implementa yan na wala pala tayong procedural mechanism yan? Bawal yan. Yun ang aming argument.
Opo, ang dating po kasi, attorney, parang pag natanggap natin yung foreign warrant, tulad nitong ICC warrant of arrest, urgent kaagad yung implementasyon. Parang meron tayong, ang gobyerno ay merong pressure o talagang mandatory na talagang sumunod dito. Parang ganun ang dating.
Ay hindi po pwede yan because that already involves arrest. And if it involves arrest within Philippine territory, then you have to apply Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution. The constitutional protections against arrest would now operate because arrest cannot be based merely on executive discretion. It involves judicial determination. Kaya nga, ang sa amin, pag mag-aresto ka ng tao, hindi po pwede na based on the discretion lang ng executive department na i-honor niya. Yung mga divorce nga, yung mga foreign divorce, palagi kong inuulit, yung mga foreign judgment, kailangan mo pa nga ipa-confirm sa korte under Rule 38 Section the Rule 39 Section 48. Kailangan mo yan ng petition for judicial confirmation. Ito pang warrant of arrest that would involve the liberty of a person. Maling-mali yan. Tsaka gusto ko rin sabihin na yung practice na idaan mo sa korte, customary international law yan. Nandun din sa aming reply. The customary international, lahat po ng constitutional democracies, ina-apply yan sa aming past pleadings. Ang daming mga examples sa ginamit namin. Gamitan lang natin yung El Masri Nasim case. Yung El Masri Nasim case, sa Italy yun nangyari involving a Libyan. Kasi yung Libyan na national, nandun sa Italy, nadakip siya based on the warrant of arrest by the ICC. Nag-resort siya to Article 59. Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, to resort siya. Anong ginawa ng Italy? Alam mo, in-entertain ng Italy and it conducted a hearing in the case and it determined whether or not his rights were violated. And the Italian court found out that his rights were really violated. Alam mo ang ginawa sa kanya? Pinakawalan siya at dineport back to Libya. We can also cite another example in Ivory Coast. the Simon Gbagbo case. Simon Gbagbo case also had an ICC warrant of arrest, but the Ivory Coast, the courts there likewise exercised jurisdiction and determined that his rights were violated and insisted on his jurisdiction rather than delivering him to the ICC. Yun ang aming mga ang dami pang mga kaso. Yun ding anak ni ni Libyan leader Gaddafi, no? And other, because that would touch now on the rights of a person. His liberty is now at stake. So kinakailangan talaga yan ng court determination. Hindi po pwede yung executive determination lamang.
At dahil nga doon sa inilabas na arrest warrant ng ICC at binansagan pa nga wanted, at ngayon dahil nga sa pagtatago ni Senator Bato de la Rosa, ang OSG mismo binansagan si Bato na fugitive from justice. Reasonable ho ba itong pagtawag po sa kanya?
That's very unfair, no? Kasi klaro naman yan ang the Valyacar Transit case, no? That's the newest Supreme Court decision which defines what is a fugitive. Before a person can be declared as a fugitive, no? There are 6 steps, no, sa aking nabasa before ka ma-declare as fugitive from justice. And it even involves a court determination also. Dito wala namang kaso siya sa Pilipinas eh. Wala naman siyang Philippine recognized warrant of arrest. Kailangan i-recognize muna yan na meron siyang warrant of arrest before he can be technically determined as a fugitive from justice. Lumayo lamang siya sa Senado kasi ayaw na niya, ang speculation ko, ayaw na niya. Nandun ako before the putukan, kasama kami nakita talaga niya yung hassle sa mga senador doon, yung mga staff dahil sa kanyang presence doon, no? But that does not mean that he is already a fugitive from justice because there is no Philippine recognized warrant of arrest. Kaya hindi po pwede na tawagin siyang fugitive from justice. He is just making himself unavailable.
Attorney, bago ko ipasa kay partner Admar, sa tingin po ninyo, gaano katagal kaya magdedesisyon ang Korte Suprema patungkol dito sa TRO doon sa arrest warrant laban po kay Senator Bato?
Well, as to that, that is really the discretion of the Supreme Court, no? It's really up to them and I do not want to comment on it, no? Kasi kanilang yan, it's within their discretion po.